Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at a new Eureka release, and it is part of the Eureka Classics line, and it is 1974's Madhouse. So this is directed by Jim Clark, who I've not seen anything else from before, but as an editor he did also work on the likes of The Innocents, Charade, Marathon Man and Copycat, and all four of those films I really rather enjoy. So this is a horror film that clocks in at 91 minutes long. Stars Vincent Price. Now this is the 37th film that I now own that stars him. And more recently we've talked about him in the likes of Master of the World and War Gods of the Deep. Both of those got an imprint release last year. And yeah, he's good in those as per usual. And yeah, also stars Peter Cushing, and I've seen 30 other films from him. Last year we talked about him in the likes of The Curse of Frankenstein and At the Earth's Core. And you've also got Robert Quarry in this, who would go on to star alongside Vincent Price again in Dr. Phoebes Rises Again. And finally, you got Adrian Corey, who was in Devil Girl from Mars and A Clockwork Orange. So, a horror movie star returns to his famous role after spending years in a mental institution, but the character seems to be coming back and committing murders independent of his will. So, this is overall another solid Vincent Price-led horror film that has an enjoyable plot that emulates not only Price's previous career highlights, as he plays a fictional version of himself, while also using archive footage from some of his prior films, like The Raven, for instance. But it also features a mystery that plays with the audience, which ultimately helps keep it engrossing. Price is typically great, the supporting cast is good, it is well paced, has a few solid kills, the finale is rather tense, it is well shot, has a decent score, and yeah, Vincent Price is as charming to watch as ever, and yeah, Peter Cushing is really well good alongside him as well. It wasn't often that either of those starred alongside each other in horror films. To be honest, it was usually Cushing and Christopher Lee, for instance. So yeah, but having them two in a film is always a good thing. It's just a shame though that there isn't anything that makes this otherwise truly special or memorable. So yeah, it gets a 3.5 out of 5. Not my favourite Price film, but you could do a lot. I'd say a lot worse. I've not hated any of his films, to be honest, but you can get lesser Price films than this. For instance, the sequel, A Doctor Fives, again to the original film. Which was called The Abominable Doctor Fives. So, yeah, but this overall is a really rather good one. But like I said, not his best. If you want to look for another 1970s Vincent Price film, then Theatre of Blood is a much better effort. But still, I'm really, really glad that this has been given a Blu-ray release from Eureka, because at the end of the day, like I said, I do own 36 other films with starring Vincent Price, and to get more from him is only a good thing. So no reversible sleeve artwork, although you do have obviously an alternate version on the sleeve cover there. Not sure who's done the new artwork. Oh, it's featuring the original poster artwork on the sleeve there, so that is what it originally looked like. So it's interesting that they've gone for that angle when they usually do not. We also get a booklet with this release as well. And inside you get your cast and your crew, as well as The Madhouse of American International Pictures by Christopher Stewardson. So obviously Vincent Price worked with AIP loads of times. I think all of the Edgar Allan Poe films they did in the 60s were released by them, obviously done with the likes of Roger Corman. And the shots from the film in this, as well as behind the scenes shots as well. Yeah, there you got the great Peter Cushing. And then you've also got Welcome to the Madhouse by John Hamilton. So the following interview with Jim Clark focused on his unhappy experiences of making Madhouse for Amicus and AIP. And that was conducted by John Hamilton for the Dark Side magazine. And this is a lightly re-edited version, which is reprinted here with permission. So I'm surprised he had a downbeat feeling with this, although to be fair, he was much more of an editor than a director, as I think he only directed 3 other films outside of this one. And then you got Vincent Price there again. And viewing notes as well. So Madhouse is presented in the 1:85:1 aspect ratio. So it should look like that. And yeah, we do have extras for this disc as well. So the film itself is 1080p HD is presented, should I say, in a 1080p high definition presentation on Blu-ray. And yeah, it looks fairly good, to be honest. No real issues with it at all. You could rank it alongside Scream and Scream Again, that Radiance Films released, also starring Vincent Price a few years back. You've also got original English mono audio. Again, sounds perfectly good, with optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. There's also a new introduction to Madhouse by horror novelist Stephen Laws. Lights, Camera, Murder, new video essay on Madhouse by horror and gothic scholar Merrick Going. Then you got audio commentary by film historian David DeVille, and The Revenge of Dr. Death, Making Madhouse, archival making of Futurette, Stills Gallery, and an original theatrical trailer as well. So, yeah, all in all, a solid film. Nothing spectacular or anything like that. Like I said, there are far better Vincent Price films from this period, but this is still a really, really solid one. And like me, I'm more interested in just getting the film itself on Blu-ray, regardless of the quality. So there is that, and yeah, inches me ever so closer to getting towards all of these films that I've seen on Blu-ray. So yeah, look forward to that day at one point. But yeah, nonetheless, really, really good job from Eureka, and yeah, it is a film that is well worth seeing. Nonetheless, so if you have seen Madhouse before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.